Alright, what is up? What is going on, everybody on YouTube? Griffin here, coming back to you guys with another Sunday Stock Watch. It is November 4th already. We're only about a month and a half from Christmas time. I'm trying to keep my girlfriend from decorating the house with Christmas stuff already. I'm one of those people that thinks, gotta get through Thanksgiving first. But point being, we're coming up on the end of the year very quick. Hopefully you guys have had a good year so far, a good week, good month. Good start off to your month this last week. As most of you know, I traded just one Iron Condor last week, which is a lot of what we're going to be talking about today. I'm just going to show you guys a few Iron Condor setups, just because I know we got a lot of new traders, new people hopping into the channel. If you're new to the channel, definitely consider subscribing below. We'd love to have you here joining our community of a bunch of like-minded individuals. We're coming up on 420 subscribers pretty quick, so that's awesome stuff. And while you're at it, go ahead and check out our Discord group chat. That's also one of the first links in the description box. You'll learn right off the bat, I don't charge for like anything. I don't have no paid Facebook group, anything like that. I actually don't even like have a Facebook group for this channel or anything like that. I have a page, but I rarely even get on it. But point being, feel free to check all that out if you're interested. But I wanted to just keep on hitting on Iron Condors because, as you guys know, I started trading Iron Condors here, about a couple weeks ago, and really had some decent success. Even whenever I was doing the horrible ones on Robinhood, I had one or two that went bad, but then I had another one that profited, and then I started doing them a lot more conservative. My work phone going off. A lot more conservative here this last week, and I made $11 before commissions, but after commissions it was still 15% profit for the week, which is why yesterday I uploaded the video how you can make 15% profit per week trading Iron Condors. And while I'm at it with just the introduction, if you have any ticker symbols or questions in general, feel free to shoot them out there in the chat as always. But Kroger is one that I've been kind of intrigued on recently. Before we get into the whole Iron Condors with Kroger, I've been watching it really since the earnings report a while back, and obviously had this pretty massive sell-off, about a $5 drop or so, before it found some solid support, which makes sense because you can see there was a solid support right around $27.75, somewhere around there, and it got rejected by the old, I wouldn't really call it much of a support. It acted as support, but it got broke. But you can see it was an old resistance, so of course it became a new short-term support, and then it got crushed, obviously. So that is now a new resistance, which is around $30 to $31. I'll just call it 31 for the Iron Condor, and you'll see here in a minute. But you can see it was up almost 3% on Friday, which is a pretty good day, obviously, for a stock like Kroger. Probably more than likely because you have that dividend coming up here in the next week and a half, 2 weeks, and people are starting to get in at a decent price because I know it's probably going to go up some. So they're going to catch that dividend and whatnot and then probably cash out on it. But point being, I don't necessarily care about that much. But point being, we know that right around $27.75 is going to be a decent support, right? So me personally, I'd probably do a $27.50 to $27 is what I'm thinking on my Iron Condor on the bearish side. And then on the bullish side, because obviously it could, by all means, bust through the support and retest that $32, I'm probably going to set it around $32. So somewhere between $27 to $32 on my range. So you can see right here, I did 32 on this side. I actually only did like 28 on this side. And the reason being, and like I said, you can always play around with these. We have to keep in mind that these are just 1 week options. So we have to think, okay, where is it probably, like now that we broke down the overall support and resistances, where do we think it's going here in the next week? Because we're trading weekly Iron Condors here. So I personally think after a pretty decent 3% day, I didn't necessarily hear about any news with Kroger. We can see right here, Kroger brings back up Toys R Us. Nothing really. Kroger to bring toy box in 600 stores. I mean, just a little Toys R Us stuff going on with Kroger. Nothing major if you ask me personally. So after a 3%, almost 3% day, I would not be surprised in all honesty if this goes down a little bit tomorrow to somewhere around the $29 range. Obviously, it's only around $30.17 right now. So for it to go to like 29 wouldn't necessarily be a crazy scenario. You can see the ask is only at 31 anyways. Bid's already at 29.86. Obviously, that was from After Hours Friday. But it'll be interesting just to kind of see how that opens up tomorrow. This is one that I am actually watching pretty closely, because if it's down early on in the morning, what I'll probably do is go ahead and instead of doing like a $32, I'll probably bring this in just a little bit to like $31.50 to $32, and then on the downside I'll probably keep it still $28.50, $28 maybe. I mean, you can see right here your max profit $9, max loss 41, with a potential for profit 75%. That's what you want to look for. Anything above 70% is pretty decent, right? 70% odds of collecting all that premium is not bad. Now, the only downside though is, again, when it comes to your commissions, you can see you're only going to collect about $4.50. So if you take, let's just do roundups here, $4.50 divided by 45.50, you're looking at roughly between 9 and 10% profit on the week. So that still is not a bad profit margin. I mean, again, if you can do 10% a week, 10 or more percent a week, I mean, you're just gonna watch your account just start to, I mean, like I keep stressing, do not look at dollar amounts whenever you're thinking about your profits. Obviously, $4.46 on a trade isn't like big money, but when you're only putting up $45.54, in all honesty, what are you expecting whenever you're only putting up $45.54 in collateral? Obviously, you could go do the calls, puts, but as we keep mentioning, let me just go ahead and clear this order out. As I keep mentioning over and over, by all means, you can do a put, say that I do think it's going to go down tomorrow. I could do a let's just say, yeah, $29.50 put for only $32, but look at your potential for profit, 17%. Now, obviously, if you're doing your technical analysis and whatnot, you're not necessarily quite as worried about the potential for profit, but you better be able to sit, like I keep stressing, you better be able to sit at that computer and watch and be able to cover your profits like that, because just like that, your profits could go from up here to negative super quick, as a lot of you know, especially when it comes to weekly options. I never suggest doing weekly options, calls or puts, when it comes to really anything, in all honesty, unless if it's just like so certain that, I mean, even a newbie could point it out. But for the most part, I do not suggest doing like the weekly options. I tried it, and obviously, like I say, I'm 100% transparent with you guys. I obviously did not have good success with that. But whenever I started trading on Robinhood, what was I doing, like 2 to 3 week out options, I was having a little bit more success because I was obviously buying more time. But even then, you're still putting up a lot of risk. Still loss. I kind of just kept doing this number when trading just calls and puts, which is why, like I said, I just feel personally that, go ahead and clear this back out and go back to the Iron Condor. That's why I just feel personally that doing an Iron Condor, to me, is your best, I wouldn't say chance of success, but, I mean, obviously it is. 75% chance of profit if you held it all the way through expiration. And obviously the goal at the end of the day is to be able to hold till expiration, right? Because, I mean, if you're only collecting $4.46 and the commissions are $4.54 and you have to go close the position prior to expiration, you're going to end up losing money on this trade, because $4.54, I mean, you're not going to lose much. You'll lose 8 cents, but if that makes sense, I don't know if what I'm saying exactly is making sense, but you're going to lose on the commission end, and you're going to give up all of that collateral, not all of that collateral, but like all that credit essentially. So obviously your goal is to hold these weeklies all the way through Friday. That's why I like doing them, because I get to pretty much just do my trade on a Monday morning. I submit a trade usually before 10 a.m. And then I just sit there and watch it all week. And if worse comes to worse, you have to close the position. You might lose some here and there, but for the most part, as long as you have your range wide out enough, you're going to collect your little bit of premium, your 8 to 10 to 15% every single week. And again, you'll just see your account keep going up, keep going up, keep going up, keep going up. Like I mentioned last week, I collected $644 on, it says $644, but then $640, $56, $46, whatever. around 645 is what I collected last week on roughly 43 or 45 something dollar investment. That was around 15% or more of profit. So it's just about looking at the percentages at the end of the day. This one with Kroger, I mean, the more that I keep kind of getting into it, it's not like super attractive to me personally, but I mean, it's at least on my radar. Like I said, I'm going to watch kind of just what Kroger does tomorrow, and then I'll go ahead and decide if I want to hop in that or not. As you guys know, XOP was the one that I played last week. I'm going to be watching that one pretty closely tomorrow as well. I'm slightly bullish on oil short term, but long term I'm more bearish on oil. I think XOP eventually is probably going to go to around $30 in all honesty, maybe even lower longer term, like weeks, months from now. But obviously right now I don't care about that. Oil sold off pretty massively this last week, like 6% or something like that. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see a slight recovery, at least early on in the week, and then by the end of the week maybe coming back down some. IV is still pretty high on XOP, but not as high as it was last week, obviously because we had the pretty big crush early on in the week. But what I'd be looking at personally is, like I said, I want to bet slightly to the bullish side, just because possibly by the end of the week this could be pushing $38. I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, you're only talking about a $2 increase at this point. Right now it's pretty much right around where it closed, but then I also, of course, I'm gonna bring it down some, because I wouldn't be surprised also if we come down $2 or more by the, in all honesty, I might go ahead and just lower it to like 33 just to be on the safe side. So you can see this one right here, the potential for profit's 81%. So I mean, even better than that Kroger one, and I'm getting more credit by $2, which percentage-wise is going to be roughly like 4 to 5% more. And you can see I'm putting up less money too. So if I did the review and send, you would see this is pretty much this is identical to my trade that I did last week. I'm putting up just over $43. I'm going to collect $6.46 after commissions. And again, if I don't have to close the position early or anything, I'll collect full premium like I did this last week, which is going to be, like we mentioned, $6.46 divided by your collateral that you put up of $43.54. You're looking at, again, 14.8, essentially 15% return for the week. And obviously that's just on that $43 investment. Obviously, I'm not saying that it's going to be a 15% return on my entire account, but for that actual investment, it's 15% for the week. If you wanted to get super technical and say, okay, well, what is that for your account? Well, let's just do the math. $6.46 worth of profit divided by 56.44. I'm looking at still 11, almost 11.5, 11.45 to be exact, percent profit on my account for the week. So to me, that's not bad. Like I said, if you can do even 5% net gain on your account every single week or more, if you can do 10 or 15 or however much on your account per week, why would you not take that at the end of the day? That's just me. That's just my own 2 cents. Obviously, you could play around with these. Say for some reason, let's go ahead and take a look at XOP just so you guys can kind of get a feel for what I'm talking about here. We see that it sold off pretty massively. I wouldn't be surprised in all honesty if it even tries to push up past $39. Again, that's where you can kind of play with it a little bit. That's, in all honesty, kind of what I'm thinking. I think possibly this week it could really go either way, in all honesty, but say I wanted to go ahead and bring this back down to 34. Say I don't really think it's going to end the week below 34, but I think there's a possibility that it could end around 39. So right there, that one is slightly higher. Let's bring it down to here and see the difference. So you can see on the little bit more bullish side, for some reason, I don't know exactly why, but you're having to put up more money, $85 for a $15 return, which obviously after the commissions you're looking at $10.46. I think from a percentage standpoint this one's going to be slightly less, $10.46 divided by your $89.54 investment is still almost 12% profit, so still not bad at the end of the day, and you're giving yourself again a little bit more breathing room on the bullish side because, I mean, let's be real, I personally would not be surprised if this tries to retest right around $39 to $40 this week, because, I mean, at the end of the day, that's only roughly, let's see, right now we're at 36.18. Come down a little, right around here. That would only be roughly for it to test 39, that'd be roughly 8% on the week. So, I mean, yeah, I would be surprised, honestly, if it went past $39, because, I mean, 9% on XOP for a week is a pretty strong move. But, I mean, and how many days did it take for it to come down here? This took more than a day. Let's see. Where's my days? So, in 3 weeks, it moved 10%. So, it took it 3 weeks to move down 10% overall. I don't think it's going to move up that much in 1 week. That's kind of my 2 cents. So, again, it's just about rinse, repeat, just kind of going in there and just playing with your numbers over and over. It's like me, I'd probably do this, 37.50, 38, let's see, we got 34, yeah, this one's not too bad. Your potential for profit's still at 70% or above, which I like. Your max profit is $21, which obviously after commissions is around $16.46. So you're looking at $16.46 divided by your investment of $83.54. You're looking at almost a 20% return on that one. So you can see how if you find that nice sweet spot where you really think a stock or ETF or whatever you're trading is going to stay within, you can really cash in and make some really good returns on your investment overall. So, like I say, you just kind of got to sit around there and just play with it and whatnot, and just figure out the exact premium you want to collect, and not even necessarily the premium. Like I said, don't focus on the dollar, but focus on the percentage that your goal is, but be realistic at the same time. Obviously, do your technical analysis, everything like that, and then everything will just work itself out, because the beauty in the 1 week Iron Condors is it's only 5 business days. So, I mean, only so many things can happen in 5 business days. So as long as you have it wide enough, you can adjust as need be. Gonna watch Starbucks. Yeah, I heard Starbucks was doing pretty good. Yeah, popped up to over $65. I look for it, in all honesty, to probably come back to reality. What even happened? Did the earnings smash? I mean, it was good. Was the guidance really good? I didn't really hear much. I just heard they had a really decent earnings report. Let's see. Boost Starbucks target price to $70. Target raised to $72. So a lot of people are raising their, even Bank of America raised their price target from 64 to 68. So that's obviously good news when you have people raising your price target. Yeah, I think, in all honesty, I wouldn't be surprised tomorrow if this is down big. I mean, the fact that it was up 10%, I mean, it's probably going to come back to reality pretty quick. So, I mean, this would be a prime example of something, if I could sit there and watch it for a few hours, I would be definitely shorting the hell out of Starbucks. I think, in all honesty, it's probably going to come back down to around, because what's the thing? You can see right around here, right around $60 to $61 was a pretty strong resistance. Every time it tried to get above it, it came back down, came back down, and then obviously it got crushed. I think that's when the CEO quit or something like that. And then you can see even again, it got rejected because obviously that old support's going to be a new resistance. Busted up above it, got back in that little tunnel, and then finally obviously it popped. So I look for it to come back down to reality around $60 to $61 sometime very soon here in the next 2 days is what I'm thinking, to try and test that as a new support. I think $60 to $61 is going to become the new support before it continues to keep going higher. But for anyone to think it's just going to hop up magically to like $70, it's a little unrealistic. So yeah, I would definitely be shorting this if I had the time to kind of just sit there and watch it for even just a few hours on Monday and or Tuesday. Let's take a look at that. By the way, when it comes to our iron Condors, I bet you the IV's pretty high. 60, yeah, it's a pretty high IV. Let's go ahead and look at an iron Condor and see what we could get. So like I said, I'm a little bit more bearish this week, in all honesty. I'd probably set it more to around, let's go ahead and do 61 to be on the safe side. And then on the bullish side, let's say 66. Or let's go ahead and give it, yeah, 66. That's what that'd be. Okay. So the potential for profit, again, above 70%, which I like. Max loss, $38. Max profit, 12. Obviously after commissions, max profit, 746. Not too bad. Again, and this is just the first one I set up. Sure, we could mess around with the strike prices and whatnot. But let's say we collected that full premium, which is obviously the goal. You divide that by the 42.54. That is 17.5% return. Not too bad. Now, if you ask me, thanks for actually pointing that one out, Clint. I didn't even think about that. I might actually be looking at Starbucks tomorrow too. But let me take a look at this chart again. So 64, 64.30. What we on the 1 year? Let me just get the 180. Go ahead and expand these to the right, and let's just do this. So we got the dividend. That's not for a while. That's for another 2 weeks almost. I don't know. If we look here, 62 might try to become the new support, in all honesty, because it came back down decently, it dropped back down to 61.78, and then it just popped back up. So it's going to be interesting to watch it early market hours tomorrow, see what happens. But I don't know, right around 62 might be a decent support. But either way, I like how this one's set up. 61, we're buying ourselves a little extra cushion, an extra dollar of support. And then on the resistance side, 66, I think that's also decent, because I mean we got rejected well before 66, came back down. It's having a little bit of trouble getting through 64.50, so I mean it's got $1.50 more to go to the upside as well. And like I said, I think for sure it's going to come back down. I wouldn't be surprised if in the next couple of days overall, like net, the next couple of days, like by Wednesday, if overall it comes back down at least 3 to 4%, which I mean 3 to 4% from 64.32 is going to be what, right around 3% would bring it down to roughly 62.26. So see, like I said, we're buying ourselves a little bit more cushion with allowing it to come all the way down to 61. For it to come down to 61, you're talking about a 5% roughly move to the downside. I don't necessarily think that's going to happen this week, but again, I mean, let's say you're like, but Griffin, 61, that's a little bit too much. Well, then go ahead and bring it in 50 cents or something. Then, I mean, you're collecting a couple dollars more collateral, and if I remember right, that's actually going to, yeah, you're going to save a little bit on the collateral side, and you're actually going to collect a little more premium at the same time. And by all means, your potential for profit is still at 70%, which is one of my key things that you guys know I push, is I want the potential for profit to be around 70% or higher. Let's go ahead and take a look at this. 946 divided by your 40.54 that you're putting up. You're looking at almost 25%, 23.4 roughly to be exact, for the week. That's awesome. Awesome stuff. So I personally, this is actually going to be on my watch list. I'm going to set a reminder tomorrow in my phone right now, so it'll remind me while I'm on the job tomorrow to just peep at Starbucks. Check SBUX for Iron Condors. And now I'm going to set it to remind me tomorrow at 8:25 a.m., 8:25. That way I'll be able to check it a few minutes before the market opens. And then there's that. Because, I mean, even with this one, like I said, 23%. I personally I'd probably still do the 61 just to be safe, because I mean it could come down 5% this week. You never know. I don't think that's going to happen, but I would rather bet a little bit more. Or if nothing else, I would go ahead and do this, and then maybe push this out to say 66.50. I don't know. I mean, let's take a look. After that, you're talking about 546. 546 divided by 44.54. I mean, you're still talking about 12.25% for the week. So I mean, that's still not bad. I mean, yes, we doubled the amount of money that we would get and doubled our profit by staying at 66 and bringing it into 61.50. But you're taking on a little bit more risk. You saw that our potential for profit went up to what, like 75%, something like that. Which, I mean, isn't a lot, but I mean, it's just about where you think the stock's going to go at the end of the day. Do you think it's still going to move higher on the week, or do you think it might kind of just nullify itself? It's going to come down and kind of do this all week. Obviously, that's the goal. You want it to kind of do this so then you can collect all that premium. But it's just how more bullish or bearish you are at the end of the day, if that makes sense. How's it going, Josh? Apple, we'll take a look at Apple here in a second, depending on what it does. Yeah, S&P, man, it's been a crazy, just the last literally month ago, the whole month has just been crazy since early October, even on through November now, has been crazy. Oop, that's not what I was trying to do. Apple. So let's go ahead and take a look. And I'll go ahead and pull it up over here as well. Okay, so overall, so we're at a pretty strong support right now. If I can get my thing up to 0, maybe. Come on, motherfucker. Fuck it. Good enough. Let's see here. So we're at a pretty key support right now, right around 207. When is that? This week. So 4 days from now is the dividend. In all honesty, it's gotten smacked so hard. I wouldn't be surprised in all honesty if Apple ends up $10 on the week overall. I mean, even then, you're not even gaining back all that it lost on Friday. So let's say that I want to be safe, give myself a little bit of room. I'd probably do 205. I mean 202.50. What's that? 207. So that'd be right around there. That takes quite a bit of collateral though, and I personally probably want to do the 217. So I mean, if you have the money available, this is definitely a decent trade. Potential for profit 56%. It's probably because I'm not giving it a lot of wiggle room on the downside. I mean, if you want to fix that, then you could by all means lower it to like 200. Whatever the case may be, 195, 197. So I mean, so there we got our potential for profit up over 70% now. You'd have to put up $189. Your max profit is 61. After commissions, you're looking at 46 divided by 193.54. You're still looking at almost a 30% return. So I mean, that's an awesome one to potentially look out for too. And by all means, you could consider, I'd probably sit out and just kind of watch what happens tomorrow, because in all honesty, if it breaks say 205, this thing could go down well under 200. So you don't want to be caught in that scenario. I wouldn't want to be, at least. And Apple's obviously pretty volatile right now. So I personally probably sit out tomorrow. I don't think it's going to do that, but you just don't want to be caught in a sticky situation, of course. But I mean, by all means, if you're slightly more bearish on Apple, like I said, I mean, you can just continue to play around with your strike prices. You could just, like, in all honesty, my goal is to, obviously, once I pay off debt here in the next month or less, is to be able to do safe trades and make consistent money every single week. So I would personally probably do a trade more like this, where I have over $10, $12 to the downside. I've got $13 to the upside. I'm putting up roughly $200 of collateral. I'm collecting $50. Let's just round down and round up. So we're talking about $50 divided by 200 is what, roughly 25% or something like that. Divided by 200. Yeah, 25% on the week. And to me, this is a solid, safe trade, I think. Because like I said, do I think Apple's going back under 200 this week? Probably not. I don't think so. But like I said, if it breaks 205, it could go a decent way down before it finds any kind of support. 195 actually. Right around 195. It's probably where some support would be. 190 to 195. So, I mean, the fact that we have it right around 195, and let's say I wanted to be even more on the safe side, since we know it could probably come down to just under 195, we could do that. And then you'd see you're still talking, again, let's round down and round up, so $30 divided by 220, you're still talking 14% on that trade. So that's the goal at the end of the day, is once I get the money where I can invest $1,000 to $2,000 to $3,000 a month into my trading account here in the next month. As most of, for those of you that don't know what I'm talking about, where like what I mean exactly. So I started out, I limited myself to $50 of trading because I am literally so close to being out of debt. I can taste it. So I was like, you know what, I'm limiting myself to $50 period, and if it's gone, it's gone, whatever. I mean, I don't think it's going to be, but if it's gone, it's gone, and I'm just going to smash the last bit of debt. I literally just paid off a credit card yesterday, or Friday, and I paid that off. I made like an $800 payment to them, paid that shit off, and I got one left with about $1,800 period on it, and then that's it. And I'm probably in all honesty going to get it paid off, maybe even by the end of this month, but for sure by the first or second week of December. And then with that being said, I'll have $500 roughly, $300 at the minimum, $300 to $500 to put towards my trading account in the second half of December. So that's when things are really going to get fun. Obviously, once I have that money, I would honestly do this trade. To me, it's a safe trade, and you're still talking, what I say, 14% on this specific trade. And again, if you wanted to be slightly more bullish on it, you can collect even more money, of course. This one was the one, I believe, yeah, that was a 25% return on the week. If you can do 25% returns, I mean, obviously implied volatility on most things are so high right now, thus you see these 20, 25, 30% possibility returns. When implied volatility comes down, those gains are going to be cut almost in half obviously, but that's why I keep saying, if you can do 5, 10, 15% a week, and then on the high implied volatility weeks or months, however long implied volatility stays high, do 20, 25%, you'll just see your account just mathematically explode. I mean, people make millions of dollars when implied volatility goes through the roof. There's traders that literally do not trade until a correction occurs, and then they just go all in, and they make their 50 plus, 100 plus % in some cases in 1 or 2 months of the year, and then they just go off and do whatever for the rest of the year. So I mean, that's not a bad idea either, but to each their own. I'm just trying to show you guys different ways of going about trading the stock market. I know lots of people are super busy. If you're like me, I literally just worked 70 hours this last week in my job. I come here and do these YouTube videos. I try to upload as many YouTube videos for you guys at the same time. Got a lot of stuff going on. I can't literally sit at my computer or on my phone, because where I work, it's like far northeast Dallas. There's like hardly any cell phone service to begin with in most places. So I mean, I can't even look at the shit for one. And then for 2, like I said, I'm so busy, I wanted to find a way to trade that was kind of autopilot. I mean, obviously, I still check my trades, check my iron condors once, 2, twice, at the max, usually 3 times per trading session. And I think that's what a lot of people that are getting into the market for the first time need, is something that is not super high in risk. As we just showed right here, this one has an 81% chance of return. And as I was mentioning, I look at everything that has 70% or higher, or it has to be damn close. I think the lowest I would ever go is probably 65 to 68%, because you're still talking about a 2 in 3 chance of making all that money at the end of the day. But I like high probability profit because I don't have the time, and I know a lot of you guys don't have the time to sit there and look at the markets all day yourself. So that's why I keep pushing Iron Condor so much. I think literally anybody can do it. You just have to understand where a stock is currently at, why it has moved so much recently, and where it approximately can go in the near future. And if you can do that, you will have very good success trading weekly Iron Condors, I strongly believe. I haven't checked our stream quality yet. Looks like, wow, we've already been going on for half an hour. We got 2 of you tuning in. But hopefully what I was saying made sense about, you guys can see what I'm talking about when I say we're at a pretty strong support right now of right around 205 to 207. I'm assuming most of you do. And why I say if we break it, we could definitely fall down to sub 195. That's why I wanted to set it around 190 to 195 for that Iron Condor. And then to the upside, in all honesty, you're going to see some pretty solid resistance. We're probably right around 250. I'm looking right here. This I'm kind of taking into account. If you want to take this into account, you're talking 217. I'm personally, though, probably settling somewhere around 215 as a new resistance level. So yeah, 215. Where did I set that again? 220. So I mean, I bet even I'd be willing to do this, in all honesty. That still has your potential for profit at 77%. You're putting up a little bit less money again. And actually, what happened there? Let's take a look. So 217.50 and 220 versus 222. So actually, this isn't going to, or here, this is what I meant to do. There we go. So your potential for profit, again, is still above 70% on this trade. And it can get around 215, and you're still going to collect all that premium. So now, on this trade, you're looking at 57.46 divided by your investment of 192.54. That is, again, like 30% return. So I mean, there, just by messing with your strike price just a little bit, ever so little bit, you gained another 5%. So it's all about the technical analysis at the end of the day when it comes to these short-term Iron Condors, knowing what's coming up. Obviously here this week, actually, right? Let me get the calendar pulled up. When's the 11th? Did it say the 11th? No, the 8th. I was like, the 11th is a weekend. The 8th, so Thursday. So watch for some selling possibly on Thursday or Friday when it comes to Apple, because people will be taking those dividends and moving on. Some people will. I'm not saying that it's going to have like a massive 2 to 5% drop. I'm just saying in general, I wouldn't be surprised if Apple comes up early this week, gets rejected around 214. That's what it's all about at the end of the day. Staying within that range. I think, though, that it's came down so much lately, especially Friday specifically. It's due for a rebound. I think people are buying it up right now. Your Warren Buffetts and whatnot are buying it up right now. So I wouldn't be surprised, in honesty, if it tries to rebound some. You can see 206.46 and showing some after-hour movement, actually. Let's pull up the one-day chart. So it's at 206.50. So it dropped another $1 after hours. So you can see 205.43, and then it got saved. The old algo game, right? So it's going to be interesting to watch this. There's a lot of interesting stuff that's going to be on, what's the term I'm looking for? Just a lot of stuff for people to be watching tomorrow for sure, and this week. I think this week is a pretty big week, in all honesty, for the markets. I'm not saying like recession or no recession type stuff, but more of, are we gonna pull out of this correction, or is this correction gonna keep getting worse type of thing? I don't think we're like I don't think we're heading into a recession. Keep in mind too that what's coming up this week, elections, so trade weary with that as well. I actually forgot about that. I don't think the election is really going to swing the markets one way or another unless the Democrats take over either the House or the Senate, because obviously if that happens, that's horrible for business. Let's just be honest, Democrats are destructive when it comes to business and all that stuff. So, I mean, if you don't see that, then I'm not even going to argue or entertain you on that. It's just a fact. If you don't believe it, watch what happens to the markets if the Democrats take one side, House or Senate. Let's see here. Comment. I commented on Ricky Gutierrez's video. Shout out to him, by the way. But yeah, I like how Apple's setting up too. So I mean, like I said, if you have the money for these trades right now, which I really wish I did. I mean, if I wanted to, I could. It's just, again, I have a goal set. I'm paying off debt. Once I pay off debt, I literally have at the minimum like $2,000 a month to just do whatever I want. And that doesn't include the $200 I'm already just automatically putting in a savings account for an emergency fund every single month. So I mean, I have so many options and so much, I wouldn't say so much money, but I mean, I have a lot. There's a lot of things going on here in the next couple months that I'm really excited for. I'm going to spend a lot of this future money on the channel, on getting a book finished for you guys, and just a whole bunch of things hopefully in the near future that I think you guys will really enjoy. So like I said, if you're new to the channel, definitely consider subscribing. I would love to have you here. I know all of us in here, I know there's only like 2 of us in here right now, I think. 2 of you watching right now. But we have like 40 of us in the Discord group chat. We'd all love to have anyone new here, as long as you're just obviously respectful and have a just focused mindset of just wanting to achieve financial freedom. At the end of the day, that's what it's all about here. But yeah, with that being said, I'll probably go ahead and wrap this stream up. I'm going to try to go ahead and get a video recorded for you guys to upload sometime during the week, because even though I'm not supposed to have any 5 to 7s with daylight saving at my job, I got 2 tomorrow. Why? I don't have a clue, but I'm going to talk to my boss about that tomorrow. Either way, it's looking like a long day tomorrow, so I'm probably not going to be able to do a stream or anything, but I'm going to try to go ahead and shoot a couple videos tonight. That way I can upload them maybe throughout the week, kind of like I did this last week with the debt-free journey update that I uploaded Thursday or Friday. I forget which day I did that. But hopefully you guys did enjoy the stream or the video once you see this. If you did, definitely make sure to smash that like button. I greatly appreciate that as always. And like I said, I'm not trying to beat a dead horse, but if you're new to the channel, we'd definitely love to have you here. Consider subscribing below. About 420 of us. It's awesome stuff. But other than that, hopefully you guys have a good week. If you have any questions, like I said, Discord, our Discord group chat is by far the easiest way to get a hold of me, like any questions or anything. I get notifications on the regular from that. Sometimes it's broken and doesn't notify me, but for the most part I get notifications. So that's the best way to reach me, or my social media is in the description box as well. And last but not least, if you're wondering what Tastyworks is, I have a link down in the description box that just explains their platform, their commissions, all that, all in one web page. That's in the description box as well. But until next time, guys, keep on going out there, making those profits, covering your profits, and achieving some financial freedom this year. And I'll see you guys. Like I said, I'm going to have a video for you guys, at least one probably coming out this week. And then I'll see you guys probably sometime by the end of the week for sure. Take it easy, guys.